The lights of Las Vegas have never burned this bright. And in the heart of that unstoppable glow, one name has taken over everything: Bruno Mars. In a matter of seconds, the crowd's excitement turned into a thunderous roar that shook the entire city. But this wasn't just another performance. This was history in the making. Before we go deeper, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment right now. Do you think Bruno Mars has officially become the king of Las Vegas? Because what happened next, no one saw coming. The night started like any other show. Lights dimmed. The band eased into the opening notes. A silhouette appeared slowly on stage. But the moment Bruno stepped forward, everything changed. The energy exploded. Fans jumped to their feet. The atmosphere transformed into pure electricity. This wasn't just a concert. This was domination. For decades, Las Vegas has been the ultimate stage for legends. Only the biggest names survive here, let alone redefine it. But on this night, Bruno Mars didn't just perform, he claimed his throne. With multiple sold-out residencies, tickets disappearing in minutes, and performances that never miss, he proved one undeniable truth. He's not just part of Las Vegas. He is Las Vegas. And then, in the VIP section, a familiar face captured attention. Jessica Caban stood watching, her eyes locked on the stage, her expression filled with pride. She didn't need to say a word. The moment spoke for itself. Behind this massive success, fans believe there's a quiet force that's always been there, supporting, grounding, and believing. But here's where things get even more interesting. Some fans began noticing something different. Bruno's performance felt elevated, more emotional, more intense, more fearless than ever before. This wasn't just evolution, it felt personal. Like there was something deeper driving every note, every move. Halfway through the show, everything slowed down. The lights softened. The music faded into a gentle echo. Bruno stood alone under a single spotlight. And then he spoke calm, raw, real. The entire arena fell silent. You could feel it. This wasn't part of the show. This was something else. And in that moment, everything started to make sense. This journey didn't happen overnight. Bruno Mars has spent years building his legacy, facing pressure, expectations, and the weight of constant success. But instead of breaking, he transformed. He didn't follow trends. He became the trend. Then suddenly, everything shifted again. The beat dropped. The tempo surged. Lights flashed faster. The camera zoomed in on every detail. His movements, his expressions, the precision of every step. Perfect pattern interrupt. The crowd was pulled right back into the storm. And then, the climax. With a final performance that shook the entire venue, Bruno delivered what many are calling one of the greatest moments of his career. Fireworks erupted. Lights collided. Thousands of voices became one. This wasn't just the end of a show. It was the peak of a legacy. Las Vegas has seen legends before, but not every legend changes the game. Bruno Mars just did. And now the question isn't whether he deserves to be called the king of Las Vegas. The real question is, who can possibly compete? Meanwhile, just off stage, Jessica Caban was seen wiping away tears. Pure pride, pure emotion. The moment quickly went viral. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Because behind all the lights and success, there's a story of loyalty, love, and years of standing together. As the lights finally faded, one thing became undeniable. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of a new era. If you felt the energy of this moment, share this video with your friends and let them experience it too. And don't forget to comment. Will Bruno Mars continue to dominate Las Vegas for years to come? Because one thing is certain, the world isn't just watching history, it's living in it. And just when the crowd thought they had seen everything, Las Vegas had one more surprise waiting. Because behind the flashing lights, behind the roaring applause, and behind the image of unstoppable success, there was a deeper story unfolding. One that only a few truly noticed at first. As the night carried on, conversations began to spread among fans, insiders, and even industry veterans. What exactly makes Bruno Mars different from every other superstar who has stepped onto that same stage? Why does his presence feel heavier, more permanent, almost untouchable? The answer wasn't just in the music. It was in the control. Every second of the show felt intentional. Every transition was seamless. Every note, every pause, every movement was calculated to create an emotional wave that pulled the audience deeper and deeper. This wasn't just performance, it was mastery at the highest level. And then came another shift. The tempo slowed again. But this time, it didn't feel like a break. It felt like tension building. The kind of silence that makes your heart beat louder. The kind that tells you something big is about to happen. A single spotlight returned. Bruno stood still. No band, no dancers, no distractions. Just him. And for a moment, it felt like the entire city of Las Vegas stopped breathing. He looked out into the crowd, not as a performer looking at fans, but as an artist acknowledging a moment that might never come again in the same way. And then, without warning, the music came back. But different. Stripped down. Raw. Almost vulnerable. Fans who had come expecting a high-energy spectacle suddenly found themselves caught in something far more intimate. Phones slowly lowered. Cheers faded into silence. People listened, not just with their ears, but with something deeper. And that's when it hit. This wasn't about proving he could entertain. That was already done. This was about proving he could connect. In an era where many performances rely on visuals, effects, and viral moments, Bruno Mars did something rare. He made thousands of people feel like they were part of something personal. And just as quickly as that emotional wave settled, he flipped the switch. The beat dropped harder than before. Lights exploded across the stage in rapid motion. The band came back in full force. Dancers filled every inch of space. The energy didn't just return, it multiplied. This was the pattern interrupt at its peak. From silence to chaos. From intimacy to explosion. From stillness to movement. And the crowd? Completely under his control. At this point, it wasn't even a question anymore. Social media had already begun to erupt. Clips were spreading in real time. Hashtags were climbing. Fans from around the world were reacting to moments they weren't even physically there to witness. King of Las Vegas wasn't just a title being suggested anymore, it was being declared. But here's where things take another turn. Because with that level of dominance comes something else, expectation. Can he maintain it? Can he evolve again? Can he stay on top in a city that constantly demands more? These questions started to surface even as the applause continued. And for many artists, this would be the moment pressure begins to crack the surface. But not here, not tonight. Because if there was one thing this performance made clear, it's that Bruno Mars isn't reacting to the industry anymore. He's leading it. Back in the VIP section, Jessica Caban remained standing, watching every second as if she knew. This moment would be remembered for years. There was no distraction, no attempt to pull attention, just quiet pride. And that detail didn't go unnoticed. Fans online began pointing it out almost immediately. The way she watched, the way she reacted, the way she stayed present in a moment that clearly meant everything. Because behind every global moment, there are personal ones that never make headlines but matter just as much. As the show moved toward its final stretch, the tension returned one last time. You could feel it building, not because the energy was fading, but because it was peaking. And then came the final sequence. The music hit harder. The lights moved faster. The crowd got louder. Everything accelerated toward one final moment. And when it arrived, it delivered. A closing performance so powerful that it didn't just end the night. It stamped it into history. Confetti filled the air. Fireworks lit up the skyline. The stage became a storm of sound and color. And right at the center of it all stood one figure who had just done what many thought was no longer possible. He made Las Vegas feel new again. As the final note echoed and the lights slowly dimmed, there was a brief pause, just enough for reality to settle back in. People looked around. Some were still cheering. Some were silent. Some were already replaying the moment in their heads. Because deep down, everyone in that room knew They had just witnessed something rare, something that doesn't happen often, something that can't be easily repeated. And as the crowd began to exit, one question lingered in the air stronger than ever. What happens next? Because when someone reaches this level, the only direction left is forward or down. And based on what the world just saw, down doesn't seem like an option. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this truly the beginning of a new era led by Bruno Mars? Or is there someone out there ready to challenge the throne? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share the story with your friends, and stay tuned. Because if this night proved anything, it's that the story is far from over. And just when it felt like the story had reached its peak, a new layer began to unfold. Quieter, more subtle, but just as powerful. Because outside the arena, something unexpected was happening. Fans who had just left the venue weren't rushing home. They stayed, gathering in groups, rewatching clips, talking, debating, reliving every second like they were trying to hold onto something that was already becoming history. The energy didn't end when the show did. It spilled out into the streets of Las Vegas, turning the entire city into an extension of that stage. And that's when analysts, insiders, and longtime observers of the entertainment industry started to speak up. They weren't just impressed, they were surprised. Because what Bruno Mars had just pulled off wasn't just about performance quality, it was about cultural impact. In a time where attention spans are shorter than ever, where viral moments come and go within hours, he managed to create something that people wanted to hold on to. Something that stayed. And that's rare. But here's where things get even deeper. Behind the scenes, there were whispers of how much work actually went into building this moment. Not weeks, not months, years. Careful planning, endless rehearsals, constant refinement. Every detail designed to feel effortless, when in reality it was anything but. This wasn't luck. This was precision. And suddenly, the narrative began to shift again. Because now, the conversation wasn't just about whether he's the king of Las Vegas. It became about whether anyone else can even reach this level again. As clips continued to spread online, fans began dissecting everything. The vocals, the choreography, the transitions, even the micro-expressions captured during close-up shots. Some pointed out how his timing never slipped. Others highlighted how he controlled the pacing of the entire show like a director controlling a film. And then there were those who noticed something even more interesting: consistency. Night after night, show after show, Bruno Mars delivered at a level that most artists struggle to reach even once. No shortcuts, no off nights, no visible cracks. And in an industry where burnout is real, where pressure can quietly break even the strongest performers, that level of consistency becomes more than impressive. It becomes legendary. Meanwhile, back inside the quieter corners of the venue, small moments were still unfolding. Crew members exchanging looks of disbelief, industry executives having hushed conversations. And once again, Jessica Caban standing just off to the side, now surrounded by a few close individuals, still processing what she had just witnessed. Because for her, this wasn't just another successful night. This was something bigger, a milestone, a defining chapter. And even though the spotlight wasn't on her, her presence became part of the story in a way that felt organic, real, not staged. But as the excitement continued to ripple outward, a new question started forming beneath the surface. What does this mean for the future of Las Vegas itself? For years, the city has relied on legacy acts, artists with decades-long careers stepping into residency roles. But now, with Bruno Mars redefining what a residency can look like, the bar has been raised dramatically. This isn't just about showing up and performing anymore. It's about creating an experience so powerful that it redefines expectations. And that shift changes everything. Suddenly, every upcoming artist considering Las Vegas has a new standard to measure against. A new pressure, a new challenge. Can they match this level of detail? Can they deliver this level of emotion? Can they command a crowd the way he just did? Or will this moment stand alone, unmatched? As the night turned into early morning, one thing became increasingly clear. This wasn't just a peak. It was a signal that the rules are changing. that the audience wants more than just music.